Hello everyone, welcome to the broadcast for today. It is Sunday, September 21st. Hopefully you're doing wonderful today. DC, nice to have you here. How are you doing today? Just stopping in to say hello. Well, hopefully you do more than just stop in. Hopefully you stay for a little bit. Who knows? Oh. How was your past week? How was your weekend? Yeah, this is our next to last final broadcast, I should say, of the month of September. We have one more. September's almost over already. Summer's coming to an end. Not a fan. I prefer the summertime. We also have our nice little mice here, as usual. They can sit here with us. There we go. We can only ever see the tops of their head. That looks funny. It does. And their nose is like peeking up ever so slightly there. How cute is that? That is very cute. That is very cute. So, yes. DC, maybe you did just say hello and then that was it, possibly. I don't know. I don't know. Regardless, we're going to be talking about a variety of different things today, such as repressed emotions and memories and things that you may be hiding deep within you. So that's what we're talking about today. Isn't that right, boys? They don't hide anything. They don't hide anything. They reveal all of their secrets of everything. That is right. There you go. They sit right there. We should just dedicate a whole broadcast to just them. How cute would that be, right? Just have them hijack the whole thing. But they're going to go on the side for the time being. They're going to go on the side. We don't need them right now. Off to the side with them. Okay. Let me kind of straighten out my camera here. It's a little bit off center. I don't want that to be shown either. I just need to move over maybe a little bit. Get the little mouse. Get the little mouse out of there. Okay, then we can change our background to this man here. He's like I don't know, this man here, he's confused about something. There we go. I can point to him now. Let me move myself slightly out of the way. There we go. Maybe I need to get more down to his level, possibly. There. So yeah, he's very confused about something there. We can see him a little bit better. Maybe this is all of his thoughts going through his mind. He has a lot of perhaps things hidden deep within him that are all just kind of coming out. And he doesn't really know what to do with it. I think that happens to a lot of people. You have all these thoughts and ideas, that whether it be racing thoughts and ideas, maybe it be negative or sad ideas, or positive and exciting ideas, or anything else. So when you have these sort of thoughts and ideas, it can feel quite chaotic, just like this photo shows. But there's a lot of things that can be hidden deep within you that you may not even necessarily be aware of. These are repressed ideas, emotions, memories, things that you hide deep down and you don't want to show, or you may not even necessarily be aware of. They are hidden deep within you because you're not able to really open up about them, and you may not necessarily even be aware of them. And ultimately, they do control every aspect of your life. So when you really think about a lot of these repressed subconscious ideas, these memories, these emotions that you may not consciously be thinking about or thinking of, they're still there. They're still in the back of your mind. So to some degree, you could be thinking about them. And then you try to push them out of your memory and try not to think about them. You push them out, you block them out, you don't really connect with them. Then they end up changing your behavior as a result. They end up controlling every aspect of your life. They can make you think certain things based on events that happened in the past, whether it be some sort of traumatic incident or memories from the past. They are controlling your behavior today. So, for instance, this is probably a good example, because I know this has been an example that I've used for my own life even, you know. So when you've grown up with being abandoned by people, you have that subconscious fear because that's how you've been treated most of your life. You think that's what's going to happen with other people that you meet. So as a result, what happens then is you may not even be aware that this fear stems from something that happened long ago in the past, but it's still there with you, controlling your actions, making you very fearful and afraid of connecting with people out of fear that they're going to hurt you or abandon you to some degree. So you may not necessarily even know why you're thinking that, but then you eventually come to a point where you realize that well, there's multiple ways you can deal with the abandonment. Let's talk about that first as well, because you could push people away, or you could try to draw as many people to you as possible to fill that void, because you know everyone's going to abandon you, so you try to fill the void that you have. So whatever the case is, however you deal with it, there's multiple different ways, obviously. But you may eventually get to a point where you realize that why do I keep pushing people away? Or why do all of the connections that I keep attracting, why do they always result in the other person abandoning me? You may eventually realize that. And I think that is a very, very key point of this, because that really does allow you to realize there's a problem here. And this problem goes much deeper within your mind, within your subconscious and your unconscious mind, that you may not even be aware of. Things that are causing problems that are deep within you, that are controlling your every action. It's very interesting when you really think about it, because when you really put it into perspective and you think about how those ideas that are deep within your subconscious mind, or even your unconscious mind deep within you that you are not necessarily aware of, how they control you, it almost feels like some sort of external source is controlling you to some degree. And that can be a little bit scary, because you feel as though you're not in control of yourself, that something else is controlling you. And that's something to really consider when it comes to this, because if you start to realize that these ideas and thoughts that you have, they're not you. They're a result of what happened to you long ago. So if you're able to then separate those and see that the things that happened in the past are long gone. They're not repeating unless you allow them to repeat. Then that is one of the first steps you can really do to start to change. But we're going to talk more about how to really discover some of those repressed memories soon, because they do control a lot of the aspects of your life. Now, let's talk a little bit about another part of this, and that can be certain triggers that happen. This can be spontaneous triggers, things that trigger some of your deepest fears, and they just suddenly just come out, and you don't know where they came from. That's because they are deep within your subconscious and unconscious mind. Deep within your mind. Something happens and it triggers that memory and that fear from long ago. And you may not know where that fear comes from. You just know that all of a sudden something happened, and now you're behaving very differently as a result of things that are occurring within your life. So those are all some signs that perhaps you do have some repressed memories here that you need to start changing. You need to start becoming more aware of. And we will talk a little bit more about how to discover what some of those repressed memories are. But you have to remember this. When they are deep within your subconscious mind, when they are deep within there, you may feel as though you have no control over it, that you're not able to change it. You're not able to change the way that your life is because something else is controlling you. Well, that is very, very false. And we will discuss more about what you can do to figure those things out and even change some of those deeper subconscious ideas that are controlling every aspect of your life. Okay. All right, let's switch our photo. It's a woman, a peaceful woman here. There we go. All right, there's a peaceful woman here doing a meditation. Well, I guess she's kind of standing up doing a meditation, right? Because she's trying to go deep within her mind to discover perhaps some repressed memories that she may have that may be causing some problems. Although, probably, if you have some of those ideas and those negative thoughts and everything, you probably don't necessarily have a smile on your face like she does. She has a smile on her face, so perhaps that's not you. Perhaps you don't really have that. Very likely not, right? Very likely, especially if it's something that's very, very negative for you. But let's talk a little bit about how to really discover some of these repressed memories that you have deep within you. We talked about, some of the things within your subconscious mind, deep within your mind, deep within your unconscious mind that are controlling every aspect of your life. And you may feel helpless as a result. You may feel as though that there's no way out and no way forward because, well, it's something that you may not have control over because it feels like something external. Well, now we're going to talk about how to really discover what some of those repressed memories are. Because they are within your subconscious mind. They are within your unconscious mind, deep within you, based on events that happened when you were much younger, when you were a child, traumatic things that have occurred within your life. All those things that you have not wanted to think about you, about your life, about things going on that you just keep pushing away, that you just keep shoving into the closet, you just don't want to think about them. Well, eventually they come out to some degree, right? You can't just keep shoving stuff away and forget about it without it manifesting in some way. Those fears will always come out. They will always show themselves. And unless you're ready to actually unless you're actually prepared, it may seem very, very scary when they all come out at once and really trigger a lot of negative things within your life. But here is one of the problems. So if you feel as though you want to access some of these things deep within you because you realize that you do have some traumatic memories or ideas, things that have happened in the past, and you do want to access those, one of the negative things is that it could cause some sort of false memories. It could create some sort of false memories. And what false memories are is that they are memories that are not actually real, that you have created in your mind by replaying events that have happened in the past. So whenever you start to think about something that happened, you go back to the past and you're thinking it, And perhaps you gave a little bit more detail here or a little bit more detail there, and you change a few things that basically make it so you're altering the actual story that ended up happening. And this can be a very negative thing because you can make it much worse than it actually was. And that can be very stressful for you because now you're dealing with something you thought was bad, some sort of traumatic memory that you thought was very, very bad. But now it's even worse because of the way that you're thinking about it and going back to it. Very, very negative. Very, very negative. But of course, it can also work in the positive direction as well, where you then begin to change it in a more positive way. But we also do not want to repress any more things. We want to acknowledge them accurately so that you're able to address them appropriately. So, how can you really do that then? Well, I can tell you a few techniques here that are very, very helpful for really going within your subconscious mind, changing a lot of these thought patterns that you may have. And that mostly has to do with self-hypnosis. I think is one of the best techniques you can do here. Because what self-hypnosis will allow you to do is relax your mind. I mean, this woman's kind of doing more, it looks like more of like a meditation, but maybe she's doing like a self-hypnosis thing. But this is something that I've personally used that really changed a lot of my life as well. And basically, how it works is that it is kind of like a meditation to some degree. You relax your mind. You go deep within your mind. And then you access a deeper part of your subconscious mind and you keep reaffirming some sort of positive affirmation to change what those negative ones are that are deep within you. And over time, over repetition, those ideas begin to change the way that your brain is thinking about that event. So if you're trying to, I'll just use the example of what I did long ago, because this was something that was very profound for me, something that really changed my life in many positive ways. And that is, when I was in school, I had a very, very big fear of public speaking. So I could not really speak all that well. I was very, very nervous, very, very scared. So I used the self-hypnosis for public speaking in order to become more confident. And I did that every single day, focusing, relaxing, and I would relax very deeply and I would hear all of these positive affirmations from the audio. I was listening to a guided audio. And I heard a lot of those positive affirmations and then I would come out of it. But it's like I didn't remember the things that happened because that's how much of a deep relaxed state that I was in. Did that for a while, and then the next time I gave a presentation, I was much more easier to stand up in front of the class and actually give that presentation. I was not as nervous. I was still a little bit, but it wasn't as bad. So I literally changed that key aspect of my life using self-hypnosis. So if you want to access something that is deep within you, change some of your thoughts and ideas, that is a very good technique you can use in order to overcome some of those negative things that are deep within your mind, because you're not helpless. You feel as though you're helpless because something else is controlling you, but you're not helpless. Another thing is to, as this woman is doing, maybe she's grounding herself. She's letting go of fears and anxiety that she has, because a lot of these subconscious ideas, these repressed memories, they trigger some of your deepest fears and anxiety. And when you have those, when you're in that mindset of being heightened with those negative thoughts and ideas, you're not thinking logically anymore. You're not all there anymore. You're thinking from a very negative place, and you're going to make decisions that are not based in a positive grounding way. So being able to ground yourself, very, very useful technique as well. So you can perform some sort of mindfulness meditation, which is extremely helpful for grounding, coming to the present moment and realizing what are the thoughts going through your mind during the meditation. Fears, anxiety, all that sort of stuff, and just watch it. Because the thing is, you are not your mind, you are not your thoughts. You may think that you are because you're sitting there, all these things are going through your mind as what happened during the day, some sort of traumatic memory, some sort of traumatic thing that happened. But that's not you. Those are some of your experiences you have had here. But that's not who you are at the deepest level of your being. So if you're able to then realize that and just watch them. Be like an outsider watching those thoughts. Just watch them go by, and then watch them eventually dissipate. Kind of like a good analogy would be like a waterfall. You know, it's like all of a sudden, let's just say, or maybe a better idea would be like a hose. I think that's a little better. So you turn on the hose and all the water rushing out is like all of your thoughts and ideas. It's like you just can't stop it. And then it turns off, it eventually dissipates, and then it's relaxed. Another good, I don't know why I didn't say this one initially. This one is a little better. It is like a train. That's usually how I like to do this analogy. It's like a train going by. Your train is the thoughts going through your mind. And when you run after that train, that's basically you trying to hold on to those thoughts. You're trying to clear your mind and relax, but instead, you're holding on to those thoughts and chasing after that train. That's just going to wear you out. Instead, just kind of stand there and just watch it. Watch it go by. And then it eventually ends. And then it's just peace and relaxation. Sometimes this can take a while, especially if you've never done this sort of practice before. But these are all very positive ways of really going deep within your subconscious and unconscious mind, discovering these negative things that are causing you problems, and then change the way that you're reacting to it so that it no longer impacts you, and then ultimately changes your subconscious and unconscious mind. These are all very positive methods you can utilize within your life to change it in very positive ways. So give it a try and then see where it ends up taking you. Oh, Promise Roads, great to have you here. I'm like, I need something for my throat. That is for sure. I am like hard to talk. Hard to talk. There we go. Back to the room. Back to the mice. Let's say my teenage years were my worst years of my life. Yeah, that's how it was for me too. Quite late, yes. I'm glad that you were here. Not too many people here. We're actually about to close it off momentarily here. Sometimes we have a decent amount of people, other times it's none. That is how life works, after all. That's why we need to have a rooster show for the second half hour. For the first half hour, it'll just be me blabbering on about nonsense that, you don't need to hear about. And then the second half will be the rooster show. That is, everyone will come in a half hour into it. Say, oh, I'm late. Oh, never mind. I'm right on time. So, let's see. I work Sundays, but it's so slow that I can listen easily. Oh, okay. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. What do you do again? Do you still do the real estate? Is that what you're still doing? I believe so. That's what you said before. Boys. These mice. That's right. There's a mice, I tell you. They're very, very interesting. Let's see, I still do real estate, but I also work for Progressive Insurance remotely. Okay. Good pay and great to be home since I have the baby now. Oh, yes, that is very, very good. Very good to do that when you have baby. When you have baby, that's going to be a lot of work for you. So, yeah, you need to take care of baby. Yeah, amazing, amazing. I have 2 babies actually. See, they are a lot of work. That's right. They get into a lot of trouble. That's right. Although they are also well behaved as well. That's right. Let's see. Having her has completely changed me. It was so difficult the first few weeks. Yeah, I'm sure. Cute mouse babies. Yes, I got cute mouse babies. How old is your baby again? It's only like it's not a long, right? It's not too old, right? Baby not too old, right? I don't think so. Yeah. You never look, let me tell you this, time will fly by and the next thing you know, baby will not be a baby anymore. Baby will be 18. Getting into all sorts of trouble, right? It is, right? 4 months. Okay, wow. Amazing. Had her at home, unmedicated. Just now realizing I think it slightly traumatized me. Oh, wow. Oh. Wow. That's something else. Yeah, that's... Yeah. Because it's interesting because, you know, that's like the most natural way, you know, and it's like that's how nature intended, and it's like traumatic for the mother. It's crazy, right? Yeah, it's got. I'm sure it's very, very hard. Absolutely crazy, primal experience, and so painful. Yeah, I'm sure. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Really crazy to think about. Yeah, it just that is the most natural way, but it just I'd imagine that it just like it's like it doesn't seem like it would be natural, right? Because it's like it's so incredibly painful and everything, but it is. Women, I'd say women have it a lot harder than men do for a lot of things. You know, you have to deal with child labor and everything. And then women have periods every month, and that's also a painful experience. Men don't have that. Men don't have that at all. It's like, oh, you got it a bit easier there, bud. Women have to deal with more emotions than men do. Yeah, it's women have it certainly unfair in many areas of life. That is for sure. That is for sure. So it was definitely amazing, just overwhelming, I'm sure. Yeah. You really deal with so much crap. Yeah. Yeah, it's very unfair for women. Yeah, I don't have to deal with some of that stuff, you know? It's like, but yeah, it's just, I guess I'm fortunate in some ways. All right, so our final thing here. Let's see what our tarot cards say for the week ahead. What was last week's? I forget exactly. I think it was like working some sort of something. I don't remember. But yeah, you know, life is just unfair in many, many areas. So you have to just go with the flow of life. You know, you have to just understand that things are as they are and you have to make the most out of it. You really do. Shouldn't dwell too much on a lot of the negative things. And you shouldn't be, you know, gloating over or being like too prideful of rubbing in what you have in other people's faces. You know, you can't do that. We rub our feet in other people's faces and they like it. Says me, Digit. You heard him. You heard him. What a silly mouse. Silly mouse. Okay. So, wonder what we have. Is this our final? I think this is our final. Let me see. This is our final full week of September. Mindset is so important, indeed. Because you can make something positive out of something negative, you know? You really can. Something positive can come out of something negative. Okay. Let's see what we have now. I wrote about this exact topic on my Substack this week. Oh, you have a Substack. That is so nice. It's a good journal, I'd imagine. Hopefully, you know, it's very helpful for you to get out some of your ideas and emotions and to really express yourself. You know? Really express yourself in a very positive way. Okay. Let us okay. Let's see what we get for this a week now. Let us do the tarot cards for this week ahead. So this is going to be for September 22nd to the 28th. This is our final week in the month, final full week, I should say, in the month of September. So let us begin. Let's get down here and start shuffling them. So we're going to draw 3 cards. One is going to be for the beginning to the middle of the week. Oh, there it was. It came out right away. We like to see it. The next one is going to be for the middle to the end of the week. Anything. Middle to the end of the week ahead. What do we get? There it is. Oh, hang on. Let's put those back. I wasn't really quite feeling those. No. This one I feel like a drawing for this next one. Middle to the end of the week. And then lastly, for the weekend ahead, let's go ahead. Shuffle again. What is for our... Is this our final? Yeah, I guess it would be our final weekend in the month of September ahead. Oh, there it is. And that's the one that popped out earlier. Okay, so that was meant to be. That was meant to be there. Okay. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get here. So this is going to be for the beginning of the week here. 4 of Swords. So this one can be quite self-explanatory. As you can see, this man is here. He's got some swords around him, and he's resting. That's basically what maybe we should be doing at the beginning of the week, resting. resting, coming to terms with, hang on a minute, gosh, everything's just going all over the place. I need a rest, right? I need a rest. Rest, recharging your batteries. Just, yeah. Maybe you've had a very busy past few weeks, past few months even, and now it's time to rest and relax and recharge yourself. So, pretty self-explanatory, I would say. The next one, middle to the end of the week, let's see what we get. We get Ace of Pentacles. I think this is actually this. So when I shuffled and like some cards came out for the middle, I believe 2 cards came out. One of them I definitely saw was this, and I think this was the other one. So it was meant to be. We were meant to see these cards here. So this is very interesting that these cards came out here. Okay, so for the middle to the end of the week, Ace of Pentacles. So here we are. Little creature here. So this can represent prosperity, material gains, the beginning of something, some sort of endeavor that you're embarking on. So it sounds like you've had a very busy past few weeks or months. It's time to rest for a little bit. And then it's time to begin something new. A new way forward. A new way of, you know, not necessarily a new way of doing things, but maybe now you've rested for a bit, you've cleared your mind, and now you see new opportunities opening up to you. It could be a very positive sign that could bring you a lot of positive opportunities and a new venture in life. It's very possible. It's very possible. And then lastly, for this card here, for the weekend ahead, let's take a look. This is the 6 of Pentacles. It is a man here. These are also pentacles, as you can see. And it looks like he is like making these, and he's kind of giving them down to these people here. So this can be some sort of material gains that you have made. Business ventures, and perhaps really guiding you on a very positive direction within your own life here. Some sort of monetary, it could be very monetary in nature, but now it's time, as you can see based on the image there, maybe it's time to share those. So I think it was last week's reading, we had a card about holding on like too rigidly to things. Maybe, you know, now it's showing you need to share some of those things. Sharing the hard work you are achieving now. You're venturing forth with other people. Very positive sign here. You could be being a bit more generous and sharing some of those very positive things. Generosity, kindness, even gifts. Maybe there's someone's birthday this weekend. Maybe you need to get them a nice gift. Maybe, you know, it's a friend, a family member. Maybe it's time to share some of the positive things here. So, yes, this looks like a relatively straightforward week ahead. Nothing too crazy. So, rest, and then something great may end up happening. So, go with it. Okay. Anyway, let's see. I don't use my name. I'm keeping it very private so I can share things I might not necessarily want my parent, sister to read. Oh, there you go. Although, maybe it's time to share. It's time to share. Right? Maybe. Now, I know that there's not too many people here. They're going to miss out, although it doesn't really matter, honestly. Because, folks, I was hoping you would get one promise. You did not. Shame. Nova Star, congratulations. Aya, congratulations. A Game Z. Congratulations. I was falling asleep because it's disease. Resting. I'm resting. Scarred Entertainment. Congratulations. I don't know who any of these people. Who are these people? Who are all you people? Thomas Shannon, congratulations. So all of you got a 1 month free membership to this channel, which allows you to get early access to new content before it is publicly available to everyone else months in advance. And you can always renew to help out the channel as well after your membership is up. So, does anyone have any exciting plans for the last full week in September before we head into Spooky Month? Spooky Month, yes. Most exciting thing I have for Spooky Month is just I have scary games going to be posted on my gaming channel in the month of October. Some of them are actually pretty darn scary, and I don't get scared. I really don't get scared. I'm playing these games and I'm saying, oh gosh, it's a little creepy, a little spooky, but I'm not getting scared. I'm not. I don't really get scared. It's very interesting. No exciting plans, just working and trying to get plenty of sleep. Well, there you go. Rest. This is your time to rest. You know? Resting. Okay. Well, I think that's going to conclude our broadcast for today. I want to thank all of you for attending, although it was just 2 people. Thank you, Promise. Thank you, DC. Whoever else may be stalking, who's not commenting, shame on you. Who knows? And the Roosters as well. That's right. That's right, boys. We're going to head out now, so I will see you the final weekend in the month of September. Next Sunday, which is September 28th. So I look forward to seeing you then. You all take care, have a great one, and catch you later. Bye-bye. Bye, boys and ladies.